Like a bad habit, but better than you've ever had it. You are rocking with the Sunday Night A show. It's the AE single dude right here on twitch.tv/wrestling. I'm with the Lucians of Josh Custodio, and holy hell, this is why we do it, folks. That's why we got the channel. Time for a pay-per-view review show of a good pay-per-view with an incredible main event and some really fun hardcore wrestling along the way. Oh my god, I'm in a great mood. Sometimes these AEW pay-per-views, they can feel like they could be one match shorter or too long. I was not fatigued going into that main whatsoever. Ryan saying hot mic, 1 sec. Two seconds, I can fix this up. I bet that's way better, right? Chat, thank you for coming here to celebrate together. AEW Double or Nothing 2025. Good glory. That was something to see. Appreciate y'all for being here. Gregory saying much better. Thank you everybody for letting me know. I know why you're all here. Let's get to the scores and then talk about... Well, if you're here for the first time, hit follow. If you're here for a repeat visit, especially after a show that strong, let's get some subs going. Give some subs to the new people. If you don't mind going to Blue Sky, reposting the Wrestling Brain tweet, letting people know. I'm going to stay up late. I'll go live. I'll go late on the show. I'm on the West Coast, baby. Stay up late with me. It's like Doug Stanhope says, be tired and get paid at work. Sleep, you're dead. You're not enjoying anything. You're just getting paid to be tired if you're tired at work. So enjoy that once in a while with me right here on Wrestling Brain. Okay. So everybody knows when I don't have a producer or anything, I don't generally play music, but I did one better. I have the 1 to 7 song on my phone, so we're going to get right to it. To your dealer. Take me to your dealer. Thank you, Baseball. All right, folks. Let's get to it. On a scale of 1 to 7, with 1 being the worst. Thank you for the follow, Flashback 64 Pod. I hope that's a podcast flashing back to the N64. You have to think I'm right on this one. I was wrong earlier this week guessing a podcast name. Flashback 64 Pod, am I right? I gotta be. Thanks for hitting follow. Please do that. If you're a normal lurker, why not hit follow? Talk a bit about the pape tonight. Come on out. All right. On a scale of 1 to 7, with 1 being the worst and 7 being the best. And I was right about the podcast. I'm the man. What do you, the Brainiacs of the chat, and then me with the Rosines of Josh Custodio, rate tonight's edition of AEW Double or Nothing? You didn't spend money on it. Maybe you did, but you did spend time. Josh, please hit the music.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Come on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Come on.
Yeah, the scores come in. I'll read them out. A hype train's incoming. So if you have Amazon Prime, please. We got no rock. Wait, can you all hear you probably can't even hear the sound alerts, can you? It's just me tonight. Well, you can ruin my ears. I love that we got no rock one. Maybe you can hear it. I have no idea. All right. Let's get to the scores. If you have Amazon Prime, click subscribe and then click with my free Amazon sub. It doesn't cost you 1 cent and we appreciate it very much. Okay. Let's get to the scores here. Tito's 2020 kicks us off with a full 7. The Bennett K with a 7. Arshback 21 with a 7. Harriet Smith with a 7. Torque Pendulum with a 7. IMA Hab with a 7. GT Richard with a 7. Kevin with a 7. Mike Camps with a 7. Limbus 05 with a 7. Shop Top with a 7. Low Effort Defenseman with a full 7. Flashback 64 Part with a 6. Keek 1770 with a 7. Pacefall with a 7. Anfield Road with a 7. Ashton Kutcher with a 7. Corex 1266 with a 7. Juice Blackwell with a 7. Scoots Proto with a 7. Yama OJ with a 7. Qui-Gon Jinn and Juice with a 7. Matty B 2123 with a 7. Kyle Kushman with a 7. Matty Mac with a 7. J Division with a 7. Gandalf Lundgren with a 7. Astral Beer with a 7. Whew. Well, what does that make for an average? 6.99999 repeating? I think it was almost unanimous 7s. Whole lot of sevens to my brother Sticks in the chat. Definitely go give him Sticks, plug your Instagram in the chat, will you? Torque Penderloin gifting a pack of subs. $5 is very generous. And we thank you. If you like that voice, some very promising news about Wrestling Brain Live, let me tell you. Okay, so everybody agrees this was a kick-ass pay-per-view. Thank you, Slackman, by the way. $5 is incredibly generous. And Ashton Kutcher gifting us up to your dealer. I love it. Sticks, put your Instagram in the chat. This guy shoots the whole Vancouver indie scene. Like, I learned so much about the stuff I commentate on through Young Jay. So give him a follow, folks. Okay. I just want to talk about the main event for a bit, and then we'll get to the rest of the show. But I'm going to talk like 60% about the main event, 25% about Anarchy in the Arena, and then 15% about everything else on the show. I know that's not fair, but it's really what I feel like doing tonight because, okay, I have a lot of thoughts about this main, and I'm not going to go to the notes. I'm going to freewheel here because I had one thought over and over during Hangman Page versus Will Ospreay, the main event of Double or Nothing tonight. Of course, I thought the perfect choice to make it the main event. If you didn't see Kazuchika Okada in his prime, first of all, I'm sorry to hear that. But secondly, tonight was the closest thing in AEW I've seen to sort of capturing that. So what does that mean? It means that you, the wrestler here, Okada or Will Ospreay and Hangman here, that you have all the importance, all the epic feeling, all the build that you need to do whatever you do once you're out there. If you don't have as much innate interest, trust with the crowd, you have to be going to the audience more often than Will Ospreay and Hangman Page did in the beginning of this match. These two worked so, I don't know what you want to say, slow, meticulous, giving away nothing, some counters, but they are really letting the moment grow. And that is such an unbelievably confident way to wrestle. Like, it asks so much. And if you don't believe me, Okada can't do it anymore. So that's how difficult it is. The guy who's the very best at it over the long term can no longer access that feel in the palm of his hand. So let's talk a bit about each competitor tonight. First of all, if you know anything about me, it's incredible that I think Will Ospreay is one of the best wrestlers who's ever lived. Because he is, first of all, he has an Assassin's Creed tattoo. I hate those games. He is English. He works, certainly in the past more so, but even still, a style that I would never say is within the wheelhouse of what I enjoy most. Like when I'm putting on pro wrestling before bed, it usually isn't stuff that people would use words like work rate or speed to describe. Generally, it's 300-pound Japanese guys headbutting each other, but that's neither here nor there. Despite all of that working against him, it's so easy for me to say Will Ospreay is one of the best wrestlers working today. His body control, forget about on offense. We know how everybody, Will Ospreay, the Hidden Blade, the Stormbreaker. We can think of these fantastic things that he does. Let's talk about his selling. At the end of this match, and I think you'll all know the spot I'm talking about here. Again, I'm not going to go through the match chronologically here. But he runs willingly into a Hangman Page buckshot lariat. He wants to give him the finger so badly that he just sprints right on into a buckshot lariat. So I don't know about you guys. I do a lot of bike riding, right? I've fallen off my bike before where I'm going too fast and I have to hit the brakes and I go ass over the bike. When you're sprinting forward, you're moving forward. Will Ospreay sprints at Hangman Page and wills his body to start moving backwards. I don't know how he does this. How do you do it? I don't understand how a person does it. Let's talk about Hangman Page, who I think you can kind of safely say has taken over as the main character of AEW, right? His story as AEW's story is where we're at to some degree. And I think he's guaranteed to beat Jon Moxley at All In. I think there's a 0% chance Mox wins. But I think that him being the person to give us this redemptive moment of opening the briefcase and taking the belt and showing it to the world again, I think he's basically the best choice at this point. Now, for hands up, I didn't pick him tonight. I thought Will Ospreay was going to win. I was very vocal that I thought the road to Hangman's redemption wasn't through Jon Moxley. I thought it was through Swerve Strickland. I thought they would do a Swerve tag, and then when Swerve would go on to be champion and Hangman would eventually usurp him. That's where I thought they were going. So maybe it was the surprise tonight that also just hit so well. But Hangman Page is... Here's a word I hate when people use. I think if you watch the show a lot, you know that I've made lots of jokes at people who use this word, but I have no trouble saying this about Hangman Page. Hangman Page is underrated in ring. By me, and I think by sort of generally everybody. I think we think of him as very good, but we don't think of him as Will Ospreay or Kenny Omega or whoever you have in that very upper echelon. He is that good. His ability, you can, lots of ways to make a sandwich, right? Like, he is the best at planting details along the way and then paying them off through promo, which, again, if you haven't seen their promo segment from Monday, go back and rewatch that before you watch this match, because I plan on doing that, I don't know if tonight, but tomorrow. At some point, I want to watch that promo segment and then start the match. But Hangman is phenomenal. I complained about, I can't even remember who it was, but I was complaining about, it was Anthony Bowens. I was complaining about Anthony Bowens on the Wednesday show and saying that he just doesn't wrestle like his character at all, and it seems like he's just thinking his way through the whole thing. Hangman Page is the exact opposite end of that spectrum. He is in there as Hangman Adam Page. He is, every thought, every action is through that lens, and it's just so obvious. Like, there's a method acting thing that goes on there at high level wrestling, right? And sometimes we all get caught up in it. But man, and then these guys collide. And you know, we all love feuds and trilogies and long-running matches. But man, there really is something to keeping people apart and then having a first-time matchup. Like, it's kind of crazy that this was their first matchup. But it lets your brain wonder, okay, what will these two styles look like coming together? And then it gives them the chance to subvert from that. I guess this match sort of looked like what I imagined, besides the winner. I had picked Will Ospreay, but I suppose this is sort of what I thought their styles clash might look like, but good Lord, this was just an absolute match of the year contender, captured this style that I miss very much, and most importantly, delivered on the stakes. Like, everyone was expecting this to be something incredible, and it was, and no one's going to complain when we get to Jon Moxley and Hangman Page, and Hangman's the guy to dethrone Mox. Incredible. Okay, so that's the guys. And let me go to chat for a second here, too. As I drink this, my mother was so sweet this week. She dropped off a bunch of BioSteels, a BioSteel variety pack. Got Ice Pop. Slack pointing out that I like a lot, that my other favorite wrestler, he means Gabe Kidd, is English. Yeah. Zack Sabre Jr. Yeah, all right. I guess I like English wrestlers. I just worked at an English pub for too long. You know, you host enough soccer, you sell enough beer to the guys watching soccer, and you're like, okay, all right, fellas. Yeah. You're the toughest guy in the world. Whereas Gabe Kidd may actually be the toughest guy in the world. Bennett TK saying, saving that clothesline counter till the very end was gosh darn beautiful. Couldn't agree more. Oh, choo choo, says Yamo J and Scoots. Do we get that hype train going? Thank you all. Appreciate it very much. Ashton Kutcher saying, that kind of long-time storytelling is Hangman's usual arc. So I'm with you. Yeah, he's just so good at it, man. And Juice Blackwell saying, Wrestling Brain should be the #1 pro wrestling podcast. Well, listen, Juice Blackwell, don't take my word for it. Go type into your Google. I encourage anyone in the chat right now. Go type into Google best AEW podcast. Go type it in. So you might be surprised what pops up. On top of that, if you want another way to support, of course, patreon.com/J0SHC. We have a free tier and a paid tier. The channel's on fire lately. You're on the winning team. But yeah, give $5 to somebody who appreciates it. Me, patreon.com/J0SHC. It gets you into the Wrestling Brain Discord, the home of the best wrestling takes on earth. And then all my solo series, Shootopia, tons of stuff behind there. And this Thursday, the Josh and Ferg mailbag returns. So, and that's a good one. It's already in the bag. Would somebody throw the Patreon link in the chat, please? Thank you. Okay. So that's the guys. I also want to talk about the production on tonight's show, an area that I think has been an outright weakness for AEW in moments. But it just, they killed it tonight. I thought commentary was on fire. Taz did like 2 covers. I have them written in my notes. I wonder if I can think of them off the top of my head. Oh, when Jamie Hayter steps on the stair and then has to readjust and go for the flying forearm. He's like pointing out, listen, she was just on there at Slippery. Look, moments ago. And they go to the replay and they explain it. They don't steer away from the mistake. Fantastic. And then the other one was, later on in the evening when Rick Knox counts a 3 on a kick out. And Taz is like, Ty goes to the runner. Or not a kick out. Is it a foot on the rope? It's in the notes. We'll get to it. But I thought commentary was fantastic. I thought the lighting for the main event was damn big time. It was just like, why don't they do this more? Was what I was thinking. I'm like, this looks better. Let's do this. It looks fantastic. And then the camera shots. Am I crazy, or were they letting things linger and breathe more tonight? I don't know if it was just in the main event, but it stood out to me in the main event. But I thought that when Will did that Sasuke special, they do like this whole long pull around for him, and then he gets back into the ring. I just appreciate that stuff so much, and it goes such a long way. If you're going to have a match like Hangman Page versus Will Ospreay, having all the dressing and the great commentary and the great camera work and the lighting, that's what it's all about. Are we willing to say that Will Ospreay does the best Styles Clash? I feel like every Will Ospreay Styles Clash is so unbelievably memorable. Tonight he hits one from the apron to the floor. He's done one from the apron to the table before. They always look crazy. He hits a great hook kick to the face in this match. The kickouts off the first buckshot and the Stormbreakers are outstanding. And then there's a foot on the rope spot from Will Ospreay where he's basically upside down and he like gets his leg on the second rope. Again, I don't know if I've ever seen that. Maybe I have, but I don't remember it. But after all this war of attrition, a buckshot lariat and a 1-2-3 catches Will Ospreay, pins him 1-2-3, and devastates him. He's left laying in the ring, looking just completely dejected, like he wanted to go to Forbidden Door as the world champion, returning home to London, having taken the belt off Jon Moxley, and now he won't get that opportunity. So out goes Hangman Page. And we've seen what happens in this spot so many times. He goes back to the ring, and he can't let it go, and he's not done with the guy. And instead, he goes back to the ring, and he shows respect to Will Ospreay. And then he leaves. Lets Will Ospreay get the sympathy still. Awesome. There's great choices all around. Matty B2123 saying, where does Will go from here, you think? That's a great question. He's going to have something huge on All In. There's no doubt about that. Ask me on Wednesday. I'll have a better answer on Double Dudes this week. But that's a great question, because it's got to be something meaningful. Does anybody jump out to the chat? Do we have any returns tonight? Who could he be paired off with? Upper mid-card heel. I don't think they'll run him and Ricochet again. Yeah, I'm not too sure. Nothing jumps off the page at me, but I haven't had much time to think about it. But I'll chew on it. I'll get back to you on the dudes this Wednesday, the moment Dynamite ends, right back in this spot. You know the deal. All right. Time to go back to the chat. I got a question for you all. I've gotten your 1-7 scores. But now, I want to know, what was, on AEW Double or Nothing, your match of the night? Should I play the 1-7 song again for this? Yeah, sure. What the hell, eh?
Yes.
Let's see.
Great tonight's edition of AEW Dynamite. It's a go home show for Double or Nothing. You didn't spend money on it, but you did spend time.
Here comes the song.
That beautiful music. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Come on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Yeah. Okay, let's see what the people thought. Oh! Scoots Brodo, Keek1717, Pacefall, Kyle Cushman open us up with a bunch of Anarchy in the Arena answers. Then it shifts over to Hanger Osprey for IMA Hab and Quarterbacks 1266 and Bennett TK. Irish Back 21 with Anarchy in the Arena. Kev Sell with Hanger and Osprey. The main event for Ashton Kutcher. Ditto for that, says Low Effort Defenseman. And Yum OJ. Shap Top says Anarchy in the Arena. Osprey Hanger. Main event for McCamps. Hi, it's me, RL. And McVander Huge. T-Dill's on the Anarchy in the Arena train. And J Division and Matty B2123 bring it in with Hangman and Will. God damn, I think that's pretty close to 50%, no? I think it's pretty close, but that's deserved. I kind of thought the main event would run away with it because it's like a cooler answer. Reminds me of last year how there wasn't one vote for match of the year in the New Japan Dog Pound match. My match of the year. It didn't even get one vote. And I was like, these damn hipsters. They don't like reckless multi-man danger like I do. It's all gotta be psychology this, story that with these guys. But I actually would go with the main event tonight over Anarchy in the Arena, but let's talk about it. Again, if you've watched these Double or Nothing reviews before, you know that these Anarchy in the Arenas are ostensibly impossible to note take. So not a lot of blow-by-blow action going through here. But it's Swerve Strickland, dressed as Predator. Willow Nightingale, who's dressed in overalls at first for her street fight gear, but then later is revealed as she straps down like Kurt Angle to be wearing a big black and Jack Powerhouse Hobbs shirt for a killer moment. And then it's the Ops and Kenny Omega. Now, I gotta tell you, I already don't like when guys dress up as DC and Marvel and all that, but of all times, Kenny, you're gonna dress up as Captain America as a Canadian right now? I thought that was whack as hell, if I'm being honest. I was like, huh? Water, weed, dune, hair, I said. Anyway, not a big deal. They all come out, but we're left wondering, where is Samoa Joe? But none of the ops look nervous about it. They're not like, oh, where's Joe? So you kind of have a sense that, don't worry, Joe's coming. Then it cuts to the Death Riders backstage, where Claudio and Wheeler go one way, and Mox and Marina go the other. And then the Young Bucks slowly enter as Justin Roberts reads out like a long, arduous intro that they've written out. We've all seen this kind of thing before. And here, they're the founding fathers of AEW. So they're dressed as, I don't know, does anybody know who these guys are? So this is two of the founding fathers. Who were dressed like that? Was that Tom Jefferson? George Washington? I'm not American, but they're dressed as founding fathers. And then, as those six surround the ring, Samoa Joe appears behind Claudio, and this wakes the crowd up as this, I don't know, Baroque turn of the century music plays. And I was like, Anarchy in the Arena is going to stink this year if we have to listen to this shit the whole time. But they fooled me. I was supposed to feel that. And they immediately kicked over to, I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it. Of course, that's the Scissor Sisters theme. That was the Dynamite theme, I think, for what, a week? Was it even 2 episodes long? I didn't realize that. I think it was literally a week, wasn't it? Let's get the notes going. They pair off early as John Moxley and Powerhouse Hobbs, a combination that still seems to have a lot of juice. Samoa Joe and Claudio, and Willow and Marina Shafir all go off in their own directions, and the in-ring action is largely centered around Swerve Strickland, Kenny Omega, and Katsuyori Shibata versus the Young Bucks and Wheeler Yuta. And then it continues from there. Wheeler and the Wrestler break off. Okay. We then get Kenny Omega grabbing the mic and saying, what did I say, Ashton Kutcher? Did I not say Pointer Sisters? The Pointer Sisters. I must have fucked up their name. But then Kenny goes, I like that song just fine. When he's weird, Kenny Omega is the least normal speaker on planet Earth. But how about some early 2000s alt rock shit? Let the bodies hit the floor. 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 That song we all know. Perfect timing. Scoots, there was rock all over this. What are you talking about? And here they come as Let the Bodies Hits the Floor plays 4 times through. This match comes alive and is a ruckus like few other things I've ever seen in wrestling. This just got so loud. It was so much fun. The crowd, every time the song restarted, would just come alive all over again, thrilled that it was happening again. I felt that effect at home as well. We get this incredible sequence where Willow Nightingale is fighting guys, which sets the tone that there is going to be just straight up intergender in this match. Very relieving for a guy like me who hates mixed gender tags. Then, in a moment where a babyface does the, oh, should I, and then actually does, thank God, Kenny Omega has Marina Shafir in the full Nelson, ready to hit the Dragon Suplex, teases it for a little while, and then crushes her with it. An enormous pop for this. Swerve Strickland and Willow Nightingale hit an Indie Taker on, I think it's Nick Buck. But then, to uneven the odds, to an enormous reaction, Gabe Kidd enters the Anarchy. He enters with that case. He's laying people out. Gabe Kidd looks huge also, by the way. He looks like he's putting on size still. But then the odds are re-evened by an earlier in the night participant, Mark Briscoe. And he was still so beloved by these people. Caked in blood, didn't bother to go to the showers. He's here to continue this feud for Gabe Kidd. So let's talk this out. That's probably going to be an all-in match, right? Mark Briscoe and Gabe Kidd, because it's probably going to be Kenny and Gabe at Forbidden Door right after. Yeah, so that's an awesome feud. Winnable for Gabe Kidd, but something that I think we'd all really like to see. Talk about styles colliding, two of the best brawlers going today. The Death Riders get locked in an ambulance. This can happen to 5 people. People say, hey, that couldn't happen. Oh, I've seen it happen. You don't want to be with 4 of your friends and thrown in the back of an ambulance with the doors closed. Take it from me. You don't know. And that leaves just the Young Bucks in the ring. Swerve and Omega effectively work as a tag team. And then Prince Nana presents the Swerve Strickland new sneakers. Anybody know what these are called? I know them as the Iversons. But what are the Strickland 3s or something? Anyway, he does the Young Bucks move and has tacks stuck to the bottom of his shoes. Silly me, I was expecting a super kick like the Young Bucks. No, way crazier. He stomps them. The best ever Swerve stomp is on the shoes, right as Kenny Omega hits a one-winged angel through an exploding table to wrap up the match. Whose house? Swerve's house. Holy shit. Okay. It seems like the chat did, so this isn't for you, but the wrestling public at large, this is good fun. And there's such a difference. Like, I can't believe that I don't even know what, like, WrestleJoy is or, like, what they think, but, like, that attitude in my mind, it's like, oh, WrestleJoy, it's all good and fun. It's like, this is fun. This is fun. Being little silly geese out there is no fun to me. Going insane with your pals while let the bodies hit the floor rocks, and Willow Nightingale is spearing dudes? Yeah, I'm in. How about the effort put onto Powerhouse Hobbs here? Keep him looking aces. Getting a huge spinebuster sequence. Destroying absolutely, I think he hits 4. Genuinely insane. This match is just like, my only complaint you could possibly have with it is that it peaks before the end, and it should have gone second last. There was just no need for the trios match after this. The energy that Anarchy in the Arena could have carried into that main event, I think we would have been talking about like one of the best hours of wrestling or whatever ever committed. Just so sick. I'm thrilled that people here have this as their match of the night. That's a guy who gets it crew in here. Bennett TK saying, Hobbs smirking at getting stapled should be his gimmick. Just smirking while people attack him. Swerve with the staple gun was so much fun. Oh my God. T-Dale saying, this was so fun. The quad screen was a great addition. Excellent point. That's true. Because in years past, we missed a ton of the action. I mean, tough to blame them. I don't chalk that up to AEW problems on the production side. But just a hard match to catch. And I think that 4-way really, really gives them a hand. Kev Sell putting it better than I could. Imagine trying to get out of an ambulance with somebody as big as Claudio stuck in there with you. You're not moving. You're stuck. Turd Ferg saying, how did I miss another AEW? There's no way for me to know. And Maddie Mack answering me kindly. The answer threes. Thank you very much. Headhunter saying swerve threes question mark. Yeah, thank you. Anyone know the name of those shoes? I'll do a wrong guess. Who was everybody's MVP of this match? Because, man, I'm tempted to go Willow, right? Although I must say, just having Shibata involved with this, like seeing it let the bodies hit the floor while he's in like a judo throw to the floor. I didn't mention Hook came back. Hook came back to a big pop. What does that mean for the Ops? Are they 4-man? Is there going to be like a Hook Hobbs trouble? Torque, McVander, Hughes, and Ashton all saying Willow as the best. Hook is pissed, says Matty Mac. Yep. Well, he should be. His spot got taken. I think everybody agrees it was better. Zoob said it on Double Dudes. It's like, yeah, well, you know what the Ops needed? Powerhouse Hobbs instead of Hook. So, yeah, I really did feel that way. Again, another result that I got incorrect here. I thought that the heels were going to get this one over, but I guess it really is just the downfall of the Death Riders from here on out. I guess this is the way now. Mock's going to lose his title at All In, and it's all losses. McVander just let me know Hook looked angry at Joe. Well, how could he be? You know, he'd be kind of selfish. He'd be like, oh, you should have waited for me, man. It's like, well, I was in the trios division. I need a third guy. If your take is there should be no trios division, I guess we can hear you out. But aside from that, I'm not so sure. Okay. I'll just go to what I enjoyed next most on the card, which is, I think this one unfortunately might go a little forgotten for how good it was. Toni Storm and Marina Shafir. Oh my goodness. Mina Shirakawa. Wow, I've never really considered how the names are sort of similar. I see how that happened to me there. You wouldn't think it. Toni Storm versus Mina Shirakawa. They did a great job at the beginning of this match. Mina rejects the handshake and immediately goes to like the headlock rest hold. This is, you know, the language to wrestlers. Hey, I'm going to be a bad guy here. You build this heat between them. They're clearly not going to do the friendship here, and that's of great relief to me. I don't like friendship matches or show-off matches or whatever you want to call them, so I was into this from go. So much to like here. First of all, I was thinking, so Toni Storm just fucking lays in two of these hip attacks. Especially one of them. Just crushes her with it. And I was like, I wonder how she does that. Because it really just looks like she is walloping Mina Shirakawa in there. But there must be some magic to it. But then I was reminded of my buddy Mr. Ferguson, and he had wrestled the great Daniel Makabe. And Daniel Makabe famously, his comeback is the big punch, where he just wails a guy. And I remember asking Ferg, I was like, man, how do you take that big punch? And he's like, you don't. Like, Makabe's just like, the rest of my style doesn't really hurt you, but I'm going to punch you as hard as I can, so be ready for it. And I feel like that's kind of the deal with the Toni Storm hip attack here. It's like, Mina, I'm going to do a lot of character work in there. I'm going to, we'll dance around a bit, but I'm going to fucking crush you at some point. And that's how it's going to have to be. These two obviously have chemistry from their time before, but I thought this was better than their prior encounter by quite a bit. This felt like a big pay-per-view match to me. Luther's fantastic in this match. He catches a crossbody from Mina and gets in the way. He's like very active as a manager here in just the absolute best way. Man, like it's just relieving that we've gotten to a place in these divisions where hard hitting is just the bar now. Like, I don't know who actually is held responsible for setting that so much higher, but Toni Storm's a slugger. Toni goes out there and it's bombs away in a way that is just so refreshing. Like, you think the character, and I think early the character was wrestling as sort of silly or character. She goes out there and throws down, man. And it doesn't feel out of step with the character whatsoever. Pacewell pointing out, yeah, he's completely mute. Even more impressive. On top of that, Mina is she was working heelish until the end of this match, but like, she's such a baby face when she's selling, and she is just such a natural baby face, right? I think it was actually you, Pace, in the chat or in the Discord, who said that Mina has the most physical charisma of any woman on the roster. Maybe said anyone on the roster, I'm not even sure. But she's certainly up there. Like, and it's so baby face. But it was just the best thing in the world to see these two come back together. I liked their last match, but I thought that this was the proper seal on it. Post-match, after the Storm 0 and the 1-2-3 and a successful defense from your world champion, Toni Storm, They have a big kiss. So they're friends again. They fight and then they kiss. That's kind of nice, right? I feel like that's kind of nice. Headhunter saying, ever since the Mariah feud, Tony feels much tougher. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, Slack pointing out, remember when the women's division was terrible O'Connor rolls, and now it's this? Yeah, I mean, that whole era of why are we doing grappling exchanges in this division, I will never forget. Really good. All right. Let's see. What else do we... Oh, okay. I'm going to barely talk about the trios in the semi-main spot. It's Josh Alexander, Kyle Fletcher, and Konosuke Takeshita. They're taking on Boom Cole, KOR, and Roddy. The Paragon, you'd think they would enter as a trio. They don't. KOR and Roddy enter on their own, and then Boom Cole gets his own entrance. Fletcher brainbusters Kyle O'Reilly for the finish. O'Reilly's sell is incredible on this. I thought he was legitimately injured for a second. I really thought that was a fantastic sell. Everybody did their stuff here, but it was just clearly non-important. There was not a ton to care about here relative to what it was sandwiched between. But post-match, the heels continue to beat down the faces, and there's a save from the Hounds of Hell, or is it? It's Brody King. Okay, that's a Hound of Hell. Tomohiro Ishii. Okay, that's a Stone Pitbull. You kind of go Stone Hell, Pitbull Hound. I kind of see it. But then, completing the trilogy, throw him up! Feel the love and energy as Hiroshi Tanahashi makes his way to the ring and they chase off the heels. This got me alive. I thought this was unbelievable. Seeing the ace. I was so checked out of this match. And I was like, oh, Brody King, great. And I was like, oh, he's turning with the Stone Pitbull. That's cool. And then I'm so hype. So a great moment there. I guess this is going to be a defense on Forbidden Door. That was my read. Anybody else have a different read? Do they want the ace on All In? Because he said he wrestled his last American match. Or else saying Tanahashi didn't do anything when he came out. Well, he's the ace. He walked out there. If the ace is mad at you and walking out there, what, you're hanging around? Careful. Go Ace is right, Slack. Qui-Gon Jinn should have had Ace run in and cancel the match, getting his Inoki on. Headhunter saying, give Fletcher the TNT belt already. Or don't. That belt is cursed. Maybe not. Crowd loved Ace. Crowd loves pace. Okay. Kazuchika Okada and Speedball Bailey. I have a lot of respect for you if you like this match. It was a very well performed match, obviously. Lots to like. I was unmoved. Seeing this Okada makes me sad. A lot of Okada standing around and taking the speedball offense. A lot of it. You want to see Okada standing around? Taking speedball offense? This is probably your match of the year. I had a very hard time getting into this one. When Speedball hit the crane pose and lands the crane kick on Okada, followed by a triangle moonsault, I went, this sucks. Okada hits a great flapjack in this, though, and the finish, you couldn't say anything bad about. Incredibly impressive. There's a shooting star, Speedball goes for a shooting star press, and Okada counters it with a drop kick midair, rolls up, pulls him up, Rainmaker 1, 2, 3. So, all people are going to remember the awesome finish from this anyway. And frankly, my Blue Sky timeline was pretty warm on this match. They liked it quite a bit. So, some wrestlers just aren't for me. I've seen Speedball live lots too. It just doesn't resonate with me. But yeah, I just don't think Okada, what can be said? Does Okada need to be getting his ass kicked by Speedball Bailey on the way to the Kenny Omega match? Like that's the next pay-per-view match, right? It's like Speedball got the better of him for most of this match. I would have probably just had him plow him, but not like that. Matty Mac saying, this turned me into Jim Cornette for a half hour. I believe it. Just Blackwell is surprised I'm not a Speedball guy. Can't imagine you've watched a lot of this show. So anyway, good for Bailey. That's a huge opportunity. You can always say you wrestled Okada on a pay-per-view, hit a lot of cool moves on him. Yeah, good for them. It's just, it's like, he's Okada. Okay. Let's talk about something I loved. a stretcher match. This is the first good ambulance or stretcher match in history. I'm willing to think it might be. Because this was... Well, first of all, I thought this was going to be good, but I have no trouble saying this blew my stack. I wouldn't have really had a problem if this was match of the night, to be honest. Like, if Anarchy Arena was just good. I thought this was just an absolute riot from pillar to post. And I'm mea culpa'd for Ricochet at this point. I feel at this point I just enjoy what he does. But I like his character work most. Like, the shooting star press onto the stretcher is obviously insane. And when he sells onto the barricade, all that stuff's very impressive. But he's just he is a great... I mean, you're opposite Mark Briscoe, who is maybe the best Raw babyface that they have. Almost certainly is, I think, in my mind. But this was crowd dynamic and character and just this... Two guys actually capturing the feeling of wanting to go out there and kill each other, to make the other man leave on a stretcher and drive off in the ambulance. That's not easy. And then you have to brawl out over there. Like, there's lots of it. Can make for very clunky matches. But Mark Briscoe, first of all, can just seize the crowd at any moment. And that allows them this freedom to work within everything. And then they work some fun comedy spots into it. Mark's doing the spray bottle, like Mr. Clean thing, and rubbing his head bald. I don't love the bald stuff, but like, the crowd's loving it, so who cares? Briscoe is gushing in the middle of this match, dude. I don't know why. Like, why has Mark Briscoe never been a singles champion? Sorry, he's been a mid-card, world champion. Because we talk about Mark Briscoe, Zoobs and I. It's like, oh, unbelievable promo. Crowd's always behind him. How about fucking awesome moves doer? What was better? The froggy bow to the stretcher or the shooting star press? They're equal to me. And I mean in execution. Mark Briscoe's is every bit as clean as Ricochet's. The running cactus elbow? This guy's a moves doer on top of everything. On top of everything else he has. He's unbelievable, man. I really would have him in that lineage of AEW World Champion. I really would. It's so easy for me to say that. He's unbelievable. He hits an unbelievable J Driller. And that starts them getting towards the ambulance for the first time, but maybe this is corny, but like, I feel like every time he hits the J Driller, his brother's looking down in heaven and he's just like, yeah, partner, get him, dem boys. Like, how can you not think of that? And he does it incredibly, and he manages to carry that emotion with him into the move. It's the best. The finish of this match is when Mark finally wrestles the scissors away from Ricochet, but the prick has another pair stored in the ambulance. So Mark's chasing him to the ambulance. It looks like things are going to go Mark Briscoe's way, but then it's a scissor off, and he eventually bleeds Mark Briscoe out and launches. And Mark Briscoe gets great air going into the ambulance as well. Slams the door, and it's 1, 2, 3. Man. Did anybody think this was going to be this good? I don't know if I like this or Tony and Mina better. Probably this. I'll rank the matches of the night in the Discord tomorrow. I'll see where I come down on it. But this is like exactly what you want in the middle of a pay-per-view too. This crowd was ready to eat up any energy you were going to give them. And this match was just like, here you go. Spoonfuls. You love this guy. You hate this guy. And they're going to torture each other and do really intense, awesome stuff. I love them. I love them both. Right now. Incredible stuff by these guys. And I've talked so much this year about how the steel cage match has been rehabbed. Can we do it for the stretcher match? Somebody else do another one somewhere. Let's see an indie do a stretcher match. Matty McRedeem is sit for the working man. That's how you know he's my brother. I'm such a thirsty guy in general. I drink so much water. And then when I don't have a co-host, where do you find the breaks to drink? So here's to you, Batty Mac. Thank you, pimp. That's good stuff. All right. Oh, got to talk about the false finish also real quick, where he gets Briscoe in there and he slams one door. Then he goes to slam the other, and Briscoe has a crutch come out to stop the door from shutting and then pivots it open. Awesome visual. So much fun. We love you, Mark Briscoe. And talk about a guy who can lose. It's so fitting that he does the cactus elbow, right? He's a guy who just like, oh yeah, I'll lose, and then the crowd will love me as long as I have a mic again one day. The best. Move down card here to the Hurt Syndicate with MJF MVP. We hurt people. We hurt people. And they're taking on the Sons of Texas. Okay. Not a Sammy Guevara guy, but I watched the Up Close with Renee Paquette. I think that's what they're called. It's like an 18-minute YouTube video with the Sons of Texas. It helped. I was more excited for this match going into it. Dustin Rhodes is a really compelling promo, and I mean, not to totally divert, but if they would have given Dustin the Jeff Jarrett push, like against MJF and whatnot, I think that would have totally worked, by the way. And here, Sammy Guevara, not my guy, but understands the assignment, which is, you're a bag of dirty laundry here. Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin are the baddest dudes in any room in America. And here, Dustin Rhodes has a little bit of strength, size, he can contend a little bit, but they're going to get you up, man. And they did. They launched Sammy all over, overhead presses, suplexes, released Germans. They absolutely beat the hell out of him. MJF jumps up on the apron to give a hand, but Bobby tells him to not get involved. This opens up Sammy offense, but then it's quickly stifled with a spear. I want to know what the Hurt Syndicate, I wouldn't be surprised if backstage they had a only so much offense thing going on, which is smart. Then Sammy goes to the plancha to the outside while Bobby's out there torturing Dustin. And instead, Shelton jumps up and hits the knee, stops him dead in his tracks, gets him back in, plants him with a thrust kick. And it's 1, 2, 3. That's a great kick from Shelton. Of course, we all know the very famous one he does, but he's still got it. No surprise here with the result, I don't think. I enjoyed the match. I don't think it didn't overstay its welcome. I like Dustin enough. It wasn't like every time you thought Sammy was going to get some shine or some big come up, he just got cut off by Bobby or Shelton. So, yeah, I didn't think there was anything to complain about here. Certainly not match of the night, but nothing that killed any momentum or took any energy or anything like that. Okay. Now I've got one keep it or kick it for you tonight. Keep it or kick it. Of course, I'm going to give a prompt from my wrestling brain, and you're going to go down into your emotes bar. You're going to tell me keep if you like the prompt, kick if you hate the prompt. But Josh, what is the prompt? Well, here it goes. It's this. Keep it or kick it. This statement, this statement, Daniel Garcia and Nigel McGuinness should tag again. Let her fly. Keep it, 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 keep it. Keep it, keep it, kick it, keep it, keep it, kick it, keep it, kick it, keep it, keep it, keep it. Keep it or kick 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 it. Keep it, kick it, keep it, keep it, kick it, keep it, kick it, keep it, kick it, keep it, keep it, kick it, keep it, kick it, keep it, keep it, kick it, keep it, keep it, keep it. All right, chat, what are you saying? Of course, the prompt again was, should Nigel and Daniel Garcia tag together again? Torque Penderloin kicks us off with a keep. Pacefall follows up with the kick. Headhunter with a keep. Qui-Gon Jinn and Juice with a keep. Juice Blackwell with a keep. Lower Defenseman with a kick. Corvax 1266 with a keep. Demeter Online with a keep. GT Ritchie with a kick. McCamps with a kick. Yum OJ with a kick. Grigory with a kick. And McVander Huge with a kick. So majority kicks there. I stand with the keeps. Who we got there? Torque Penderloin, Qui-Gon Jinn and Juice, Corvax 1266. Is that it? Well, I stand with you three. I stand with the keeps. I thought there was something there tonight. And I haven't seen anything in Daniel Garcia in a year. I don't know. It's been a long time since me and Red Death were on good terms. So I thought they had good chemistry in there. The formatting here, of course, of FTR taking on Daniel Garcia and Nigel was that, pardon me, the crowd loves Nigel. He's an event wrestler at this point. They're happy to see him. And FTR is going to work that to their absolute advantage. The first, 8 minutes of this match? Maybe longer? No, not longer. 6, 7, 8 minutes is all Nigel McGuinness versus FTR. They're doing the tag team thing, quick tags. Cash is working on the outside. All these things to keep him from tagging Daniel Garcia in. Of course, we know FTR is the absolute masters of this. In general, they're the cut play tag team in my mind, and they're able to just really ply their trade here. Nigel McGuinness proves his bona fides as just a unbelievable fire-up babyface in these moments. The crowds are so... Do you all feel that? Like, do you feel, like, happy to be watching Nigel? Like, I feel maybe he has more of that, like, Edge, Daniel Bryan, like, oh, we get to see more of them energy than maybe I imagined. I knew at All In he would have it, obviously, but I think it just carries building to building more than I thought. It felt huge to me tonight. And FTR really playing to that. They're breaking down Nigel, who finally works his way to the corner to get in Daniel Garcia. Besides him immediately tagging in, then doing the 10 punches in the corner, like, one of the worst things I feel like you could do at that moment. I thought the DG comeback was awesome. I thought that they just felt from there on out fluid as a tag team. Cash Wheeler just sprinting all over this. Cash, if you are on the outside of the ring, Cash Wheeler is hunting you, dude. It's such an awesome character to have. It's so funny. Like, Cash is both the B guy in FTR and maybe the one that we could all describe his in-ring style more. Just so crazy. Then it switches to Daniel Garcia 2v1. FTR going back into tag team mode, unable to let Nigel tag back in, rested or not. And then the heart of this match. Nigel's on the outside and he gets Dax in a headlock. And he makes Dax apologize to Tony Schiavone for attacking him this week. He goes, "I'm sorry, Mr. Schiavone." And Schiavone's like, "I can't hear you." I thought this was so awesome. Maybe it's that Schiavone and I are in the Commentary Brotherhood. Come to NEW June 14th if you're in Vancouver, by the way, on the call. June 29th as well. But I thought all this stuff worked so well, man. Just so much fun watching the commentators have this interplay. Tony Schiavone, of course, just an absolute sweetie, I think, in real life. So just works on all fronts. As FTR becomes more heel, they're having more miscommunications. And I think that's really a fun touch, that they're not natural cheaters in this mode, or they are better wrestlers as baby faces. There's one sort of sloppy moment where Dax straight up throws DG out of the way to punch Cash. But besides that, you can sort of overlook it because they're doing so much in that vein. There's a spot in the corner, all the ones you'd expect. Guy gets out of the way, but they're selling that they're not the well-oiled machine FTR here. And I actually think them versus Hurt Syndicate, which I think they're going to do at All In, is a super awesome matchup. Daniel Garcia ends up going out to a sharpshooter, goes unconscious to the sharpshooter, shades of Stone Cold Steve Austin, and FTR pick up the win. This is really awesome. I thought that it had this TV build has been good, and they continued it into the match, and that's what it's supposed to. Everybody's just doing their stuff. Genuinely awesome. You love to see it. I love finisher steals. Is Kev selling here? What do they call it in WBCW? Okit Yaburi. The DJ and Nigel go for a shatter machine, but don't let it happen. I love that. I don't think Dash and Cash would let anybody besides Edge and Christian hit that. So fun. Really, really like this match. Good way to continue the storyline onto the pay-per-view. And a fitting ending. I feel like DJ and Nigel are only more over in the loss, so credit to everybody. And the show opener, Jamie Hayter versus Mercedes Moné for the winner of the Owen Cup, who's going to go on and face Toni Storm at All In. Very exciting. We know that Mercedes Moné wins this, and I want to talk about the Moné-Toni matchup so much, but can anyone think of a bigger match they can do than Mercedes Moné versus Toni Storm? Like, is Omega Okada bigger than that? I'm asking. I'm not sure. What do you think? I didn't like this one as much as everybody else. I like what Hayter brings to the ring, but I thought she was very, very soft for lots of this match. Like, I was surprised to see so much praise for it. I really thought the beginning of this was, I straight up thought she was like trying not to hurt Mercedes, or Mercedes. I don't know, you're in there with the big star and it's the 70s. Like, make sure to not bump Hogan at all. And that was the energy I thought it had for the first little while. It did pick up, though, as the Jamie Hayter CEO dueling chants come in. There's all this Mercedes refuses to engage, the opening of her match stuff. Jamie hits the CEO dance for an enormous pop, and then a Meteora. She's doing finisher steals. I like it. Again, the aforementioned Jamie slip on the stairs. I don't think this is a problem at all. I thought commentary did a good job covering it. It ain't clean kicking someone's ass, I think is Taz's line here. It doesn't look clean doing an ass kicking. The finish here, Mercedes goes for a roll up, but Hayter just spikes herself. It's wicked. It's like a God's last gift. Shout out to Akira Tozawa and Uncle Loudy. Who else does the small package driver? I'm missing someone. Oh, Tyler Black. There's got to be other people. But they're my favorite moves. I think people who watch WBCW know that. So I think it was on accident, but if you're going to accidentally hit God's last gift, that works for me. So I thought it was a good physical matchup. But yeah, the Discord was on fire for this one, and the Blue Sky timeline really liked it. I thought they kind of had bad chemistry early, and that Hayter was really trying to take care of her in there. It picked up, but I don't think it comes close to matching the other women's match on this card for my interest anyway. And Mercedes is one of the most bankable, enjoyable things for me on most pay-per-views all the time. One of my favorite wrestlers. Headhunter saying good, but just a weird finish. I thought the finish was the best part. I think I'm just on the others outside of everybody on this one. And that was Double or Nothing. Easy 7 for me. Did I say that? Easy 7. Just Ricochet Briscoe, Tony Storm, Mina Shirakawa, and Anarchy in the Arena would have gotten me a 7. And then just one of my favorite matches to happen under the AEW banner, and something that just managed to capture a style that I miss, was special for me. So, did I miss the match? I think I got through everything, right? Last post-show the international tournament was announced. One sec here. Talk about this a little bit. Well, I'll go to bed in about 10 minutes. How's that? Let's see here. Okay. I took a picture of my TV. This is... this is what it's all about, folks. Well, you don't need notes. You just take a photograph of the old TV. Oh, thank you for the Josh heads and the 7s. Thank you, brothers. I'll close with something from the heart at the end of this. But so we have Kenny Omega will be defending his AEW International Championship in a 4-way built off of 3 matches to get into it. Those matches are Claudio Castagnoli versus Commander. That's fun. Mascara Dorada versus Hechicero. Wicked. And Josh Alexander versus Brody King. Who could complain about any of this? What do I hope? I hope it ends up as Brody, Claudio, and Hetch. Well, I'm picking all the big guys. You need a flyer. They'll put Commander in there. I think it'll be Kenny, Commander, Brody, Hechicero. That's my guess. Very exciting. I don't know what we're going to do about these 4-hour dynamites that are coming up. Lost talk to Zoobs about this week. I want to say a big thank you to everybody. The channel is both doing really well right now, and it's unlocking things in my personal life. I'll talk more about it coming up, but there's really big things coming down the pipe. And I'm not doing like an announcement of an announcement. This is this week. Something I've been working on for a while here, and I'm very excited about it. And it's totally because of Wrestling Brain. And I was very sick this week, and everyone was just so nice. Like, I wake up, took a bunch of cold shit, pneumonia medication the night before. I'm just laid out. And, I just pop into the Discord, and there's someone asking, "Hey, how you doing, Joshy?" It's like, God damn, man. That's nice. Like, I have my friends and I have my family, but it's like, it's incredible to just have this, get to talk about wrestling and, have people also have like a personal, lots of those people I'm personally friends with too, but you know what I mean? It's like, it just extends beyond. So lots coming down the pipe. Exciting week on the channel. I guess we haven't done AEW Dudes since. Wrestling Brain Live is going down in Toronto on All Out Weekend. You all know that, right? We announced it on Blue Sky. Yeah. we'll tell you more about it as we get closer, but if you haven't been to a Wrestling Brain live, it's the most fun you can have while being alive. Anyone in the chat want to back that up? If you've been to a WBL, I feel like that's an easy thing to say. So anyway, we'll give you more information on that as it comes down the pipe. Not that screen, this screen. I love you all too, Juice Blackwell. Matty Mac saying, more and more people saying Wrestling Brain live. Pacefall saying, it's the most fun you can have while being alive. This is the magic that happens on these Wrestling Brain live weekends. I had just gotten tattooed in Toronto. I'm walking out of Little Portugal. I was having a coffee I don't normally get. It's like a sweet, desserty, I don't remember what it was. It was so tasty. It was like an iced, I don't remember, something very tasty. And I see this giant tattooed hunk walking at me. I'm like, who's this handsome devil? Toronto's a giant city. So first of all, I'm nervous. I hope this guy doesn't kick my ass. He's a foot taller than me. And it was my brother Pacefall. Just bumping into each other in Toronto. Insanity. These are sort of things that can happen in Wrestling Brain live weekends. So we'll talk more about it on Wednesday, I'm sure. Zoobs is back this week, so I'm sure. And I think some of my co-hosts are back. But if not, I will be here. I will be here forever. Pacefall saying I just got tattooed and eating oysters. That's what it is. Matty Mac saying Pace is such a good hang. I remember seeing Matty Mac and Pace walking at Collision, and I was like, those guys are celebrities. Who are those two celebrities that are walking in front? I gotta go get pictures with these guys. Incredible, incredible. You remember how Jim Cornette's thing is the airport effect? It's like wrestlers all gotta have the airport effect. If they're walking through an airport, someone should go, that's someone. And Jim Cornette always uses Roddy Piper as the example of that. He's like, Roddy's not a big guy, but everybody goes, he's someone. You're right, Ashton Kutcher. They are celebrities. I agree with that. But you can tell, not every, I live in Vancouver. You see a celebrity sometimes, and often the first thought is, that's a small guy. So many times I've seen a celebrity, I'm like, that's a small guy. Okay, I'll send you off to bed with I'll send you off to bed with one celebrity encounter story in Vancouver. And we can all go to bed. And we'll be back tomorrow night for Meltdown. 7 in the West, 10 in the East, right here. It's our fake federation. You'll love it. I was walking down Robson. Like I'm walking this way. And Jermaine Clement from Flight of the Conchords and What We Do in the Shadows. My friends are all we were all such big Flight of the Conchords marks at this time. He's walking towards me. And my face must have lit up or something because he could like completely tell that I was like, oh. And he just looked at me and he went, don't do it. He kept walking. I love telling that story. Don't do it. Oh, that's as funny as it gets. All right. Here's to you, Brainiacs. Love and energy. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Well, I don't know what the outro screen is. Hang on a sec here. Okay, well, I'll just go to a black screen and I'll sing Hiroshi Tanahashi's music. How does that sound? Okay, great. Good night, everybody. Love and energy.